There is a switch in your body that controls whether it burns fat or stores it. And it resets every morning based on what you do right after you wake up. Get that first hour wrong, and your body shifts straight into fat storage mode. So here are 5 habits that I follow every day to keep the fat burning switch on, and they're easier than you think. Let's get started with habit number 1, which is very simple, but very powerful. And that's getting sunlight in your eyes early in the day. I'm not talking about laying out in the sun or getting a tan. I mean morning light exposure. Stepping outside and letting natural light hit your eyes. Believe it or not, doing this within the first 30 minutes of waking up can have an enormous impact on your ability to lose fat. If you can't get outside for 45 minutes or an hour, still go do it. How does it work? Your body runs on a 24-hour rhythm. It's called your circadian clock or circadian rhythm. This internal clock controls several of your hormones that influence your weight. Cortisol, for example. It wakes your body up, so it spikes a little bit in the morning, and then it helps to release any stored energy. Insulin is the second one. It determines whether you're going to burn fat or whether you're going to store fat to start your day. So it can go up a little bit in the morning. Leptin controls your cravings and your appetite. Now, these hormones are all strongly influenced by natural light. And when you get that light, it is just as important on how much you, and when you get that light, it's just as important as how much you get to help promote those hormones. So there's a study from Northwestern University that looked at this in a real world condition. And the people who got the most out of their daily light exposure before noon had significantly lower body mass index, BMIs, than those who got it later in the day. So they looked at the people that studied their habits, got exposed to natural light early in the day. That led to lower BMIs, which are going out of control, especially across America and now across the world. And that held true even when their diet, their exercise, their sleep, and their age were the same. In fact, the timing of light exposure alone explained up to a 20% difference of a person's BMI. It's a huge impact, especially for something that's so easy to implement. So what do? Within 30 minutes of waking up, step outside for 5, 10, 20 minutes. 10 to 20 would be amazing. Don't wear sunglasses. Don't have earbuds or headphones in. Don't rely on light through a window. It's not strong enough. Even if it's a cloudy day, middle of winter, it's tough. Use logic there. But as many days of the year you can, outdoor light is still much brighter than anything inside. So even if it's cloudy, if getting outside isn't possible, it's too cold, something like that, you can use a light therapy box that mimics the UVs from the sun. It's a special daylight mimicking lamp, but you want to make sure if you're going to use one of those, like you can't get any sunlight, there's some kind of restricting condition or scenario of where you live, 10,000 lux or higher is what you're looking for if you have to have an actual light therapy box. I've never used one. I don't use one. I use sunlight as many days of the year as I can. Those, though, are commonly used for seasonal depression, like people that live in a dreary place and there's just no sun at all. It also helps reset the body's circadian rhythm. So there are some cheats, so to say, that you can use if you really can't get out. But for most of us, especially during the warmer months, getting outside. Super important. Within your first 30 to 60 minutes, direct sunlight, do some stretching, do a little walking. You will feel the difference, believe me. Now, number 2, after you've gotten your morning light, habit number 2 is just as foundational, hydration. You lose a good 16 ounces of water when you sleep, sometimes up to 20. I literally used to measure it as a wrestler. I would go to bed, check my weight. I would get up the next morning and check my weight. The only difference was losing fluids. Your body is more than 60% water. So after 6 to 8 hours without it, while you're sleeping, you wake up in a dehydrated state, even if your mouth isn't telling you that. A lot of your hydration mechanisms are busted inside of the brain, so you got to start retraining it and turning on the sprinklers that turn on in your yard. It's a light sprinkle for a short amount of time to rehydrate the soil. It isn't a flood. So 16 to 20 ounces of water gets you going. When you're dehydrated, though, when you wake up, it slows your metabolism. It increases your cravings. Your body's trying to get in some salts and things like that, so it makes it harder to burn fat. But when you hydrate first thing in the morning, you reactivate fat-burning pathways even before you eat anything. So let's talk through a couple powerful ways that you can hydrate effectively. First one's cold water. Drinking the water colder than your body does force your system to have to heat it up a little bit. It's a little thermogenesis, burn a few extra calories if you'd like. One study showed that drinking just 17 ounces of cold water first thing in the morning, I don't know why they chose 17, but they did in the study. First thing in the morning, it boosted metabolism by 30%. It's just that surge going the right direction. 30% boost, just putting cold water in first thing. You're outside, you're in the sunlight, having some cold water. The effect lasted of that surge, like go button on the metabolism for over 40 minutes. So you set the tone of you super efficient in the first 40 minutes of your day by putting in some cold water. On an empty stomach is important. It's gonna help your body burn more fat. Second way you can hydrate, I love this one, lemon water. This is what I use myself. I recommend it the most. I have this at any time during the day, but it's especially great in the morning. You can start simple, simply just squeeze one lemon into a glass of warm or cold water, whatever you prefer with the lemon. Do it when you wake up. Or you can just go all in with what I call the Living Good jug. I have Nurse Living Good buy me a gallon jug of water. Okay, I don't care if it's plastic at that point. Okay, I wasn't worried about that. I'm just trying to measure my water. I squeeze 6 to 8 lemons. I juice them in. So I pour a little bit of it out or drink a little bit of the water to leave some space for juice for 6 to 8 lemons. You could add a little bit of, cayenne to that. You could add a little bit of, a little dash of maple syrup if you had to, but normally I just do the lemons and then I sip it throughout the day. But I've got a measuring stick, and some days that's all I'll do. And I won't have any foods. I'll just sip on my lemon drink all throughout the day, and I get through the whole thing. My body is flushing, my liver is being flushed out, my kidneys are being flushed out. It helps the liver produce bile, which is how your body breaks down fat. And so then it reduces bloating if you've been bloated, cuts down on cravings. And here's something most people don't realize. When you start burning fat, your body releases a lot of toxins that were stored up in the fat cells. And so then your kidneys and your liver, they're responsible for cleaning up those toxins. But if they get overwhelmed, your body will store the toxins again somewhere else, back in some fat tissue, somewhere else in your body. So that's one reason why people lose fat and then they gain it back again. So by hydrating with lemon water, you're giving your detox organs the support they need to flush those toxins out, keep weight loss going. Now, third, water before breakfast. If you're someone who eats in the morning, this one's important, okay? If you have to eat, I'm not saying you don't have to eat in the morning. Clinical research shows that people who drank that 17 ounces of water, you can make it 16, it's fine, before meals, lose up to twice as much weight as those who don't. 100% increase in weight loss just by drinking water at the right time. Why? Because it stretches your stomach. You feel more full. It sends a signal to your brain that you're already getting full before you even start eating. Just doing that habit before breakfast can make a massive difference on how much you lose. So then you naturally eat less without having to count, track, or restrict anything. And it doesn't just apply to breakfast. Even if you don't eat until later, water before any meal can help control appetite and reduce your calorie intake. Over a 12-month period of time, women who increased water intake to just over a liter a day without changing food or exercise lost nearly 5 pounds. Just increase water intake, and if you can do it before a meal, it's going to have even more of an effect. Those women also had measurable differences on that waist size and that body fat, which means they're losing inches, which means they're burning pure fat. Habit number 3. Next morning habit up is coffee. Your morning coffee can actually help you burn fat, but only if you do it in the right way. That means ideally a plain black coffee, but more so at least no sugar filled creams, flavored syrups, chemical additives, no artificial light versions or additives. Those are even worse. If you do need something in your coffee, you can do what I do. A little coconut oil, butter, or you could use ghee, either one of those. And then my collagen, it's got a little bit of monk fruit with it. You blend that, it's like a latte. Collagen coffee. The point though is keep it very clean. So the coffee I'm drinking is black coffee this morning with moringa in here. So there's moringa into the beans and so it ends up in there. So it's coffee and moringa to stimulate healthy metabolism right away in the morning. You can check out my moringa video to understand why it is considered one of nature's Ozempics and the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. So check that out. It's incredible. That's why I add it into the coffee to help to subsidize that. So point being, we got to keep coffee clean in order for it to have its impact. Now let's break it down why it works for fat loss. Number 1, it increases fat oxidation. That means it helps your body use stored fat for energy instead of reaching for sugar. So it helps you be a fat burner instead of a sugar burner. And when you drink it in the morning, before you eat anything, you're already aligned with your body's natural fat burning rhythm. Secondarily, it suppresses appetite. I mean, I can have a cup of coffee and just the hunger kind of melts away. I don't know if you're the same. Not everyone's that way. Nurse Living Good's not that way, but that's how my body works. Coffee lowers a hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin is the gremlin. Remember, nom, 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 nom. It's the one that tells your brain, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. The little gremlin, ghrelin, is the one that it helps to slow down. So it helps you go longer without cravings or snacking. Number 3, coffee helps support digestion. It stimulates the gallbladder to release bile, which again, your body uses to break down fat and remove toxins. It's especially important for anyone with sluggish bile flow, or if you've had your gallbladder removed. Adding a little coffee in your morning can help move things along properly in the digestive tract. And 4th, it helps keep you very regular then. So going to the bathroom daily is a big part of detoxification. It's a big part of fat loss as well. If your body isn't eliminating waste consistently, then the toxins get reabsorbed and then your fat loss slows down as your body is storing those toxins as fat somewhere else. So coffee helps keep things moving. And it's real world data that backs this up. In a national study, women aged 45 to 69 who drank 4 more cups of coffee per day had 2.5% less body fat and 4.3% less fat around their midsection. Another study out of Harvard, people who drank 4 cups of coffee a day lost about 4% of their body fat over 24 weeks. And then let alone if you're adding moringa with it, which you can check that video out and that'll tell you even more of the benefits of it. So the results happened with these people without changing diets, without changing exercise. And what's even more surprising is that both caffeinated and decaf coffee showed the effects. I would say though, if you're getting decaf, make sure it's processed correctly, which is Swiss water decaf. They're extracting it using water to get the caffeine out of it. That protects those valuable nutrients. We're not using chemicals and washing it in highly processing it. So it's not just the caffeine that does it. Coffee contains hundreds of bioactive compounds that support metabolism. They support the hormone balance. They support fat processing. So you get the benefits even if you don't drink it with caffeine in it, if you prefer decaf, you still get those benefits. So love coffee, easy timing thing, doing it in the morning to have a huge benefit. Habit number 4, okay? Morning fat burning habit number 4 is one of the most powerful and for most people, the hardest to believe. And it's skipping breakfast. Goes against everything we were taught growing up. But the research is clear. Delaying your first meal gives your body time to shift out of fat storage mode and into fat burning mode. You don't break your fast, breakfast, until midday. And a lot of people refer to this as intermittent fasting. I more call it rotational eating, where you're eating the night before and then you're eating later in the day on around midday, and you're kind of varying some of your eating patterns, but skipping breakfast, right? Time restricted eating is probably even better term for it. It's one of the simplest, most effective ways to burn fat without changing what you eat. So here's how it works. It's the easiest diet plan for people. The obsessed world about diets. When you wake up in the morning, insulin levels are already, they're down. They spike a little bit with cortisol as you wake up, but then they settle in and then they'll stay that way. Insulin's your fat storing hormone. So when insulin's low, your body can access and burn up fat around the thighs and around your belly and around your neck. But the moment that you eat, especially if it's a carbohydrate, a sugar, the Danish, the croissant, the least filling food that there is, number 1 on the list, the cereal, the toast, the muffin, the second you eat those things especially, insulin surges and it shuts down fat burning mode. So if you eat first thing in the morning, you cut that fat burning window short. But if you push your first meal back a few hours, maybe use coffee instead, you extend it, you burn more fat. This is how your body was designed to work. You were never meant to eat from the moment that you wake until the minute that you go to bed. But marketing says we've got to have at least 3 meals a day with snacks in between and late night eating. Your body needs a break from food so that it can actually tap into stored fat, use the excess fuel that the fuel tanker is carrying. Think about that. Like a fuel tanker broke down on the side of the road, no energy to go anywhere, but has all the fuel in the world to run a vehicle in its back end stored. That's kind of how it feels sometimes as us storing fat, but not accessing it. This is one of the best ways you can access it every day, little by little, day by day. A review of 27 clinical trials found that intermittent fasting led to weight loss in every single study. Some people lost as much as 13% of their starting body weight. And most of that weight loss came from fat, not muscle. Inches gone, not just muscle. In addition, most people who reported felt less hungry, not more hungry. Figure that one out. It's like, well, if I don't eat, I'm gonna be starving. It's like, actually, get some sunlight, have some water, drink some coffee, you're gonna be good, and then enjoy lunch. So how do you do it? Just skip the breakfast, right? Add in the liquids, give your body that 12 to 14 hour window without food from your last meal. And ideally, the tighter you can get at dinner, the better the results. If you eat at 6 and don't eat after that, whole nother topic, you can extend it even further. And you go a long period of time without food in between meals. So if your dinner finishes at 7 and then you wait until 7 or 8 or 9 a.m., to eat, just pushing breakfast back a little bit, you've got yourself 12 to 14 hours. Let alone if you go till noon, you give yourself a 16-hour fasting window. And then you've cut down your eating window each day to only 8 hours. What's allowed during fasting? I'm a dirty faster, right? You might be purebred faster, hardcore, but I'm good with black coffee because of the research I just listed. I'm good with water. I'm good with lemon water. I'm even good with electrolytes as long as they're actually, if you've got some flavored, there's unflavored ones that we have, but if it's got some flavor from, say, monk fruit, I'm okay with that. Or stevia, I'm okay with that. Just keep the thing under 50 calories, because that's kind of your threshold, right? Even a little collagen in the coffee. I have no problem with those things. Fats, I don't have too much of a problem with the fat, even though it tips that 50 calorie mark. I like that it doesn't spike insulin. So you stay in fat burning mode. But 50 calories or less is a great goal. Having liquids, this habit alone has helped thousands of people finally start seeing those results, not by eating less, but just simply eating later. Now, if you want to take everything you've done so far, the hydration, your coffee, your fasting, and then multiply the results. Your sunlight, you need to include morning fat loss habit number 5. Moving your body before you eat. And no, I'm not talking about running marathons or spending hours in the gym. It could be as simple as when you're getting your sunlight, you're on a brisk walk. Some light strength training or a short full body routine. The key is do it before breakfast when insulin is low, when the body has no carbs in it yet. That's when it taps into stored fat, not the food that you just ate. There's research to back this thing up. One study looked at people exercising at different times of the day. And the only time it increased fat burning over the next 24 hours was when it was done before breakfast. You get an extended fat burn when done before breakfast, before food is in, fasted exercising. Now, if you want the best results in the least amount of time, the most effective form of fasted movement is high intensity, short interval training, or HIIT, high intensity, short duration. The reason being is because your big muscle groups, you start using those in short bursts, and then you rest briefly in between, and then you go right back in. And that combo of these short burst rest raises your heart rate, activate your fat burning hormones quickly like HGH, testosterone, yes, even for women, and it improves insulin sensitivity. And it works. In one study, women doing short, high intensity duration workouts lost 21% more body fat than those doing long cardio sessions. Even though the workouts were half as long, shortened it down, still got the results. If you need an example of one of these, I call them 10-minute workouts. And the 10-minute workouts, I'll put an example of one in the link below. We give them out at the start of each of our challenges. Every day we teach people how to do this. And if you can do it as a fasted movement, you will flip fat burning mode on even more and accelerate the results of the timing of this habit. So if you want the absolute most out of those 10-minute workouts, there's a specific way to do them that flips your fat burning hormones on and it keeps them going all day. And that's what I want to walk you through in my next video. It's called the #1 full body exercise for weight loss. And the workout is quick. It's simple. It's designed for real results. Like I told you, it's 10 minutes. And in the video, I'll show you how to pick the right exercises, how to modify them if you're just starting out or you have some kind of injury, and then how to turn your metabolism back on no matter your age, no matter your fitness level. So many people have accomplished this. Hundreds of thousands I've taught how to do this. So if you're serious about losing weight, click that video next, and I'll see you over there.